Hello everyone. Alright, so we're back. This time we're going to talk about 1987's Magnificent Warriors. So this is Michelle Yeoh, of course, following hot on the heels of, well, we had Yes Madam in 85, Royal Warriors in 86, and then 87 we get Magnificent Warriors. So obviously this is another film put out by the man that Michelle Yeoh would go on to marry, Dixon Poon. And to be honest, I've sat on this one for a while. I've had this a while. But I've just got done rewatching it again, and I'm really digging this movie. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot on the first go round, but going back and rewatching there's a lot to this movie. I mean, it starts out, it's kind of like Michelle Yeoh's Indiana Jones movie. It's her answer to an Indiana Jones movie in a similar sort of way that Armour of God and Operation Condor were Jackie Chan's answers to Indiana Jones. But it has that schlock factor, of course, that you'd expect. But as the movie goes on, there's kind of like a gear shift that happens as we get towards the last third of the movie, and then things kind of level up, and you think, hang on a second, we're kind of getting into like a full on war movie here. Because obviously, this is set like, basically like around the time of the First World War. Basically Japanese occupation. So, kind of like the Japanese are to Michelle Yeoh's character what the Nazis are to Indiana Jones. And basically, she's kind of like a special agent, and she's working with Derek Yee, who's another like special agent. I don't know whether you want to call it for the Chinese resistance or the underground movement. And then they basically put together this merry band of men and women, and obviously one of which is Richard Ing, who gets just dragged into this just through a whole load of convoluted circumstances. And then we go from there. And what's cool about this has a lot of like cool elements to it. As you say, elements of indie, elements of Escape to Athena, which I kind of love. And then as we get towards the finale of the film, where this whole epic siege breaks out, we're tapping into like Helm's Deep territory from Lord of the Rings. There's a lot to it, and the action, of course, is first class. Michelle Yeoh is on top form here. She's tremendous. Again, I've said it in the previous reviews that I've done of Michelle Yeoh movies. Obviously, Royal Warriors. The way she throws herself into the action, and just some of the things that she can do. Whether it's hand to hand stuff, whether it's weapons stuff. She's great. Absolutely first class. Recently announced that she's signed up to be in this an upcoming action movie called The Mother. It's going to be so cool seeing Michelle Yeoh back in an action movie. I mean, obviously we got some great action stuff in Everything Everywhere All at Once, but obviously that wasn't a full-on action movie. That was like a blend of everything. Whereas it looks as though this new one, The Mother, this is going to be straight up full-on action. So it'd be great to see Michelle Yeoh get into that, get back into that. I mean, she's 60, 61 now, but I think, obviously we're all going to slow down, but I think she's still got a hell of a lot left to offer. But she's on top form here. I mean, obviously, her action's always great, whether it's Yes Madam, Royal Warriors, obviously, Police Story 3. But I really think this one's something special. I love it. And the whole dynamic between their little team of, should we call them the Chinese Avengers or the Chinese Justice League? Um, they've got a great dynamic. Obviously, Derek Yee, he's great in this, and he has some great action stuff to do as well. And the chemistry between Michelle Yeoh and Derek Yee is really, really good. We hear a lot of, well, we always hear about, equality and, well, not so much equality, but rather equity. How it's all about having strong, competent, capable women in films, look no further. This kind of showcases what equality is all about, because Michelle Yeoh and Derek Yee, they are treated as 100% equals in this movie, and they carry each other. They're a team. So there's a lot that you can learn from something like this. I mean, Jesus, you go back to Hong Kong 1987 to show you how to treat people as equals in a movie. But that's not, we'll leave it there. Um, yeah, everyone does a great job in this, and the choreography is so well done. Some wonderful set pieces and so many different kinds of action. Whether it's obviously street scuffles, like one on a ton of guys, we have an infiltration mission where they raid one of the weapons supply or the supply camps, and then we get full on siege of Helm's Deep at the end. So there's a lot of different stuff in this. Again, the scale as well. We get an aerial combat sequence of two planes taking each other on. So there's this one that had there's when you compare to what was done in Yes Madam and Royal Warriors, and when we get to this one, it seems as though they really wanted to expand the scale of what they could do. Yeah, so this one really stands out in that respect. But it also, what's really nice, um, again, we talk about heavy-handed messaging in films these days, whereas there's some really like uplifting and wholesome and just feel good stuff in this movie, and you can take something away with it. You've got some like great messaging in, well, not so much the message as the drinker would say, but just, I don't know whether you want to say like little pick me ups along the way, and just things that make you feel like, yeah, the world can be a better place. So it's all positive stuff again, just so refreshing, you know. But yeah, this is great. I mean, uh, I'm looking forward to the possibility of more Michelle Yeoh movies being released on Blu-ray. Obviously Eureka's done a great job so far. Of Criterion have just put out the Heroic Trio double bill. Unfortunately, that's just been released in America. Hopefully, we might get some UK release of those, because getting to see Michelle Yeoh and Maggie Cheung together, that's going to be an absolute joy. So I'm hoping for a release of Heroic Trio, and then there's a few others that would be just so great to see. Obviously, getting to see the one she did with Jet Li, Master of Tai Chi, and there was, I think, was it Wing Chun, the one she did with Donnie Yen? And then there's a couple of others. Is it the stunt woman she did with Sammo Hung? And again, a couple of others. But we're kind of, certain labels, whether it's Eureka, whether it's 88 Films, whether it's obviously Arrow, Criterion, these different labels, they've been doing a wonderful, wonderful job of, putting out a lot of the Hong Kong classics, and hey, here's hoping it'll continue. I'm looking forward to later on I think it's next month, we get the Valiant ones. Um, well, it's either April or May we get the Valiant ones. Then in June we get Island of Fire, which those are two that I'm really excited about. But yeah, it's brilliant. This movie again, wonderful, wonderful Blu-ray picture and sound. I'm willing to bet this is probably the best it's ever looked and sounded, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. So if you obviously are a fan of the movie and were wanting to pick this Blu-ray up, it is definitely worth the investment. And if you haven't seen this movie, again, you might be a latecomer to Michelle Yeoh. You might have only came across her in recent years, and you're thinking like, let's see some of her classic stuff. I mean, this is a great one to pick up, and again, if you're going to see it for the first time, this is the way to see it. But that pretty much wraps this up. Again, really love this film. And just I was appreciating it all the more doing this rewatch, and just yeah, it's a total feel good, and there's a lot you can enjoy here. It's a fun story, fun. Imagine that, fun and entertaining. But yeah, please feel free to share your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear them. Thank you for listening to me yammer on. I really do appreciate it. It's always such a joy talking about these movies. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.